The 5 vehicle characteristics that affect safety and security. The goal of this video is to create a basic understanding that vehicles have inherent characteristics that, if not understood and monitored, can decrease a vehicle's performance and create a dangerous scenario for the principal. There are numbers that represent these vehicle characteristics. Most are found in the owner's manual of the vehicle. The security driver does not need to understand the science behind these numbers. Still, they do need to know how these numbers and changes in these numbers affect their principal and passengers' safety and security. What are the top 5 vehicle characteristics? Well, they are, in no particular order, the vehicle's maximum payload capacity, the tire's load rating, tire pressure, the vehicle's static stability factor, or SSF for short, and the center of gravity. The wrong combination of these 5 vehicle characteristics can and has proven to be a problem. The wrong combination is defined as the vehicle's payload capacity is at maximum or exceeded, low tire pressures, tire load rating has been exceeded, a high vehicle center of gravity, or a low vehicle static stability factor. So let's get into a little bit more detail on these 5 vehicle characteristics. Let's start with payload. The payload is defined as the combined maximum allowable weight of cargo, occupants, and optional equipment that the vehicle is designed to carry. The payload is an indication of how many passengers and cargo the vehicle can accept. That number is set by the vehicle manufacturer and is vital to passenger safety and security. If the payload is exceeded, it will affect the vehicle's day-to-day performance and the vehicle's longevity. Exceeding the payload capacity will affect the vehicle's capability to do the simplest things like go, stop, and turn, and in an emergency, it will severely affect the driver's ability to maneuver the vehicle. So where do you find the vehicle payload number? Well, you can use Google to find the payload of your vehicle. For example, if you want to find the payload of a Suburban, you would type in search payload for Suburban. Additionally, somewhere on the vehicle, there is a sticker that will supply the payload numbers. Or you can find the numbers in the vehicle's manual. Now let's talk about tires load rating. The load index explicitly indicates how much weight a tire can carry. To find your tire's carrying capacity, look for the load index number on its sidewall. The load index number indicates a tire's carrying capacity when inflated to its maximum load sustaining pressure. It corresponds to another number in an index, which tells you how many pounds of weight the tire can carry. In this example, the highlighted number 104 is the tire size's assigned numerical value used to compare relative load carrying capabilities. In the case of our example, the 104 identifies the tire's ability to carry approximately 2,000 pounds. In the next few minutes, we're going to be talking about static stability factor and the center of gravity. The static stability factor, or SSF for short, is how the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration determines a vehicle's rollover probability. It is the vehicle's at-rest calculation of its rollover resistance. The location of the center of gravity is measured in a laboratory to determine the height above the ground of the vehicle's mass. The SSF values across all vehicle types can range from around 1.00 to 1.50. The lower the SSF number, the more likely the vehicle is to roll over in a single vehicle crash. A higher SSF value equates to a more stable, less top-heavy vehicle. Most passenger cars have values in the 1.3 to 1.5 range. Higher riding SUVs, pickup trucks, and vans usually have values in the 1 to 1.3 range. We recommend before purchasing an SUV, you look for the SSF number on the web, and we'll have links in the description to a few websites that we found that might have these SSF numbers. The center of gravity of a vehicle is that point on the vehicle where all the weight is balanced. It is measured from the ground to a point in the vehicle's height and width. All forces acting on a vehicle act through the center of gravity. The height of the center of gravity relative to the wheelbase determines weight transfer between the front and rear to front. The same is true of the center of gravity height relative to the track width determines the weight transfer from side to side. The weight above the center of gravity is a crucial vehicle characteristic. This weight determines the vehicle's tendency to roll over and is a significant factor in the vehicle's emergency maneuvering capability. The more weight above the center of gravity, the more weight will be transferred. How does weight transfer? Well, there are three ways in which weight transfer can occur: through acceleration, deceleration, and steering. So every time the driver accelerates, brakes, or moves the steering wheel, there is weight pushing on the vehicle's center of gravity. And the last of the 5 vehicle characteristics that affect safety and security is tire pressures. Specifically, the proper tire pressure for your tires. So how can you determine the proper tire pressure? In a simple phrase, it's not easy. You go by what the tire manufacturer recommends. The tire type, the load on the tire, which we've already talked about, and the environmental conditions determine the proper tire pressure. The condition that is literally deadly is low tire pressure combined with a heavy load on the tire. You can measure the tire pressure with a tire pressure gauge. That's easy enough. But how do we determine the weight on the tire? The amount of weight you can support with a tire depends on the air in the tire. The more air in the tire, the more weight the tire can support. The less air in the tire, the less weight the tire can support. The maximum load is stamped on the side of the tire. The stamping will give a tire pressure number at a particular weight. As in this example, 44 psi at 1984 pounds. The tire company is telling you that if you have 1984 pounds on that tire, you must have 44 psi in the tire. Maintaining correct tire pressure helps optimize tire performance and fuel economy. Correct tire inflation pressure allows drivers to experience tire comfort, durability, and performance designed to match the needs of their vehicles. Proper tire inflation also stabilizes the tire structure, blending the tire's responsiveness, traction, and handling. Thank you for coming along for the ride as we discussed the 5 vehicle characteristics that affect safety and security. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. And if you like this type of content, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And for more information on this type of content, you can also visit our website, isdacenter.org. Thanks, take care, and we'll see you in the next video.